Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Now we're going to do a review of Marvel Dice Throne. Now this is the complete, I think they call it battle chest, where all 8 heroes are included. This is we backed it on Kickstarter. I don't know if that's available on retail or not, but I do know that you can get the same characters. 4 come in 1 pack, and then there's 2 packs. So we played in the How to Play and playthrough Spider-Man and Black Panther, which comes in different packs. And the object of this game is to reduce your opponent's health to 0. Each hero starts out with 50, and it can go up to 60. And it uses the mechanics of Yahtzee, where you can roll your 5 dice up to 3 times, and collectible card game mechanics like Magic the Gathering, where you have different phases and tokens that you spend. So you see that I've upgraded my basic actions here. I need to get my thwips here, 3, 4, or 5 of them to do damage. Here, if I get my spider symbol on the dice, I can do different things. If I get web and spider, I can do different effects. If I get a small straight or large straight, that does different effects. But the best thing is, like in Yahtzee, if I get all 5 dice to show 6s, I get my ultimate attack, which gives me tokens, and I do 13 undefendable damage, which is important because each character can defend when they're attacked. So Spider-Man can counter punch, and so if Black Panther hits me, I get to, if it's defendable damage, I can roll 3 dice. Oh, and look, for every thwip I get, I would do 3 damage back to Black Panther. Or I could do my spider sense, I'd roll 2 dice, and if I had gotten the spider, I could reduce the damage in half. So you also have special abilities, tokens you can use. So I can do a combo attack where after I roll, I can attack that same character again. The stack limit tells you how many of those you can hold because it can be quite powerful. I could web the opponent. That means the next attack I do on them will be undefendable because we're trying to get out of the web. Because this is the Miles Morales Spider-Man, he has invisibility. So if I can spend that to roll a defense on an undefendable attack. So part of the game is dealing with the different types of damages, which this chart is helpful for that. Some attacks can be modified by increasing the damage, or you can avoid it with cards. The ultimate damage is undefendable right here, and you can only make it go up. So if I get an ultimate attack, I can make that 13 actually do more damage, but Julie can't resist it. However, she could play cards to change the value of my dice. So if I did get those 5 6s, she might play a card to change that 6 into something else and deny me that ultimate attack. So I'd say I did have 5 6s. She might change it into something else. So it has nice color coding. The turn order is right here. First, what you're going to do is you're going to do upkeep. So you might have some tokens on you from other heroes that you have to deal with. It could be poison or something else. Not in this game, but in the other Dice Throne games. Because this can be combined with the other Dice Throne games. I mean, you could have Santa Claus versus Spider-Man, for instance. Income phase, you get 1 combat point and draw 1 card. If you ever have more than 6, you have to discard, and you can sell them to get more combat points. There's a little buried rule that you can forget, that whoever goes first in the beginning of the game does not get the income phase. You get your main phase, you can play ability card upgrades. You saw that right here. I made my punch better. See, this made it better because now I can gain a combo if I get 4 of a kind. So if I have 4 2s or 4 1s or 4 3s, I can get a combo attack. And you'll see here on the dice, which I didn't show here, you see how it has numbers? So the thwips have the 1, the 2, and the 3. The webs have the 5 and the 4. And the spider has the 6. So your main phase, you can play cards that have the main ability right here. So I can play this during the main phase. Remove all status effect tokens from a chosen player. So if Julie had done something to me with a different hero, I can remove that status effect that might be hurting me. And then you can sell them to get combat points. Then you go to the offensive roll phase, where you get to roll up to 3 times your 5 dice. I mean, I could put 2 aside, roll the other 3, change my mind, and even roll the dice that I put aside on the first result and roll them again on the third roll if I want to. Targeting roll phase doesn't happen in a 1 versus 1 game, but it could happen in a 2 versus 2 or a 1 versus 1 versus 1. Defensive roll phase. So this is where Julie will have a chance to change the results of the dice with any cards she has. If she can't or doesn't want to, then she can roll her defense. So the cool thing about Black Panther, just like Spider-Man, she can also do undefendable damage. So I hit Black Panther and then she hits me back and I can't do anything about it. She also has, with her character here, she gets kinetic energy. So every time she takes damage, she gets kinetic energy. And for every 2 she has, she does an additional +1 damage. And then when she gets all 8, she basically, it explodes out and does an immediate kinetic attack. And she'll get 2 command points, draw 2 cards, and deal 5 damage to the chosen opponent. That's an undefendable damage. If she gets her vibranium suit, she can reduce damage by 3 one time. And the other things that Black Panther can do, just like Spider-Man, you have different results. That's her small straight and large straight. If she gets 4 6s or 4 panthers, that's what that symbol is up there, she can get kinetic energy. So the last thing you do on your turn after the roll phase, you get another main phase, and you're like, well, why do you need that? Well, you might want to play something or sell something that you may want to be able to use when it's your opponent's turn. So you keep on playing until one player is reduced to 0 in a 1v1 game. If both players, again, this is kind of buried a little bit, if both players are reduced to 0, because with defense, when you defend, each character, Spider-Man and Black Panther, can hurt each other in a defense attack. So let's say I reduced Julie to 0, but she still gets her defense attack, and I didn't have much left, and she could reduce me to the 0, and then it becomes a draw. And the only other rule that sometimes can get confusing, besides this chart here, is when you play instant cards, that's these red cards here. Well, sometimes players will be playing multiple instant cards or using tokens which are treated like instant cards. How do you resolve them and in what order? Well, the players whose turn it is, theirs resolves first. And if you want to wonder what these orange cards are, these are ones that you can play during the offensive roll phase to modify dice. Usually you're modifying your own or helping your ally if you're playing a team up version, 2 versus 2. Or even 3 versus 3, which you've never tried.
No, we haven't.
Okay, so that's a quick overview of the how to play and play through. You can check out our how to play and play through. That was a quick little overview if you want to see more detail. Okay, so what are we doing, Julie?
Now we're going to give you our positives, our negatives, and our neutrals, and then tell you how we rate it on the BGG scale. So since I always go first, here we go. I think this was very easy to learn and play. David did a great job teaching me, and I just appreciate his patience because sometimes I still kind of get a little confused, but I'm getting way better at it. I love this because it has dice. I love it.
You love the Yahtzee mechanic.
I do love the Yahtzee mechanic. I think the art is really cool. I like the bright colors. I like everything about this. I've been playing Black Panther the past few times we've been playing this, and I really like it. I don't know. I think it's just really pretty. My only last thing is, and it's just a neutral, but it can get frustrating if you don't get the cards you're really needing or the dice just isn't going your way. It can get a little frustrating, but that's what you get in a game like this where you have dice and you have cards and you can't control everything. But it doesn't take away from the fun. I'm telling you, even though I can lose at this game, I still have a great time.
Right, because there's some luck mitigation if you get the right cards. So sometimes you'll see when we were doing the how to play and play through, I didn't get any upgrades until later. But I got cards that allowed me to change the value of dice, and I was able to do an ultimate attack early on Julie.
And he was also rolling out of his mind.
Yeah, I was rolling well.
Really good.
But I think when you watch it, Black Panther usually beats me. Julie's won a lot with Black Panther, so maybe I won that one. You'd have to watch to find out.
I don't know.
But I was also being pretty aggressive, too.
Very aggressive.
Well, it is an aggressive game because it's player versus player. So it's 1 versus 1 dice card management combat game. Now, some people don't like intellectual property, games based on intellectual properties, because Dice Throne came out with its own characters, season 1 and season 2, and then also Santa versus Krampus. Some people, friends of ours said, well, a game system's going downhill when they get an IP like Marvel or DC. For us, we don't mind that. So for us, it's a positive that it has familiar intellectual property and mechanics, Yahtzee and Magic. Some people don't like that. For us, it's not a problem. Now, hero complexity ratings is a positive thing, because when you're now it says ages 8 and up. Well, yeah, a child who's a experienced gamer, and even then, an 8-year-old is going to need help from an adult. So what I mean by that is that back of all Dice Throne characters, there's a rating here. See that die right there? They're rated from 1 to 6. So we started out right away. We opened up all the packs. We looked at Black Widow, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, Loki, and Thor. And I think Captain Marvel has a 2 as well. But we played the easier ones first. Our son played Captain Marvel. You can start out with more difficult ones, but if you're learning this game, you definitely want to play the simple ones.
Yeah.
Because you see that even on the back here, it has, what if this happens? It has some if-thens here. But this is nice when it's only this much stuff here. You'll see some characters, it will be filled to the brim with lots of exceptions. So, yes, can inexperienced players handle this game? People who are not hobbyists? Sure, if they have someone helping them. And can a younger person play this? Sure, if an adult is helping them and they've played other games. Our sons started playing Magic when they were 7 and 9. And so they could have handled this when they were younger. So like Julie, I agree, the cool art and components. So Roxy, I believe the name of the company is. I might be pronouncing that wrong.
I don't know.
You have the etched dice here. The cards have a foil stamp, which is called linen, but it's foil stamped. And the boards are nice and thick. The only thing that's not so great are these cards here. They're too thin, and they're not foil.
But you don't really
linen.
need them very much.
Right, but I'm just saying. Otherwise, everything else is high quality, especially the storage trays.
I like the storage trays, like the colors.
Yeah, I agree. It can be swingy. That's a neutral. Oh, asymmetrical balance. I don't know how balanced this is with the other characters. I don't know if Black Panther can defeat, or Spider-Man can defeat the other characters that are more complicated. We haven't tried them out yet. I think Black Panther has an advantage over Spider-Man in general because of its kinetic.
Oh, my kinetic energy.
Because the kinetic energy that Julie keeps on getting here, that builds up, she allows her to do a lot of damage. But Spider-Man...
But Spider-Man's pretty
again,
tough too.
I had to play Spider-Man 3 or 4 times before I beat you.
True.
And Spider-Man can get a combo attack where if he gets 2 6s and 2 thwips, 2 spiders and 2 thwips, he can attack again right away. But you got to get that. So that's a nice thing. But it's balanced out that every time Black Panther takes the damage, gets that kinetic energy. So I don't know how the other characters... So that's why it's a neutral. But it's also a type of game that the more you play it, the better you get at your character. So it is swingy because it's a dice and card game. And we're okay with that because it doesn't take too long to play. If this was a 2-hour game, I wouldn't play a swingy 2-hour game, that's for sure.
No.
And it is easy to learn for gamers. If you're familiar with Dice Throne, it's like, oh yeah, I understand how to play this already. There's no new rules in here. Just new characters, new heroes. And for experienced gamers, the rule book is well laid out. It is color coded, which is nice because it has orange goes with the roll phase, blue goes with the main phase, red is instant. I mean, they did a good job of that. It's just that for someone who's not used to playing hobby games, could struggle, and they'll just. It's not because of the rule book. It's just because they're not experienced. They'll have to watch it how to play or play through. So let's take a look at our rating.
Okay. Wow. You said very good.
Yeah, because I like the fact that it's an intellectual property.
Yeah.
When I'm playing these characters, I'm imagining, this is how it simulates the movies or the comic books. I'm okay with that. When you're playing characters that are made up, there's not enough of a backstory there for me to understand what is the bounty hunter. Well, I don't know her backstory.
Oh, yeah,
Or the tree. I mean, I forget the other ones we played. There was a tree thing and
I don't know.
Santa Claus we know about, but not Krampus. I have no idea.
We had to learn about him.
I had to learn about him. But like I said, some people would rather have original characters. I'm okay with it being based on intellectual property, and that's why I'll play this over the regular dice throne because of that. So to me, that's a positive. So what do you have to say?
Well, I said 7 that I'm usually willing to play, which I am. I like that it doesn't take a long time to play, which is always good. Why I didn't pick an 8 is because I don't think I've ever really suggested that we play this. And it's not because I don't like it. It's just I don't really think about it. But once David says, hey, do you want to play this? I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, that sounds like fun. And
But you have a problem with player versus player games.
I do have a big problem with that.
But you rated the Santa Claus one a 6.
I don't think I like the characters.
Right,
I mean,
so you
not that I'm
like Marvel
against
characters
Santa.
more.
I love Marvel characters, and nothing against Santa and Krampus. It's just I like these Marvel characters a lot. And I like that these guys, my Black Panther is only a 2, which is nice. I only have 2 little things I have to worry about.
Vibranium and the kinetic energy. But my point is, you rated Santa Claus and Krampus a 6 because they're not familiar characters to you.
Yeah.
Whereas you'll play this over the other ones.
I would. Yeah. If I had to choose, I would choose this one over the other one. And the only other issue I really do have is, I know it's 1 versus 1 or, 2 people versus another 2 people. And maybe if it was that way, it wouldn't be as bad, but it's 1 against 1. I'm not a cutthroat person. I'm not a, like, I gotta win person. And I know that I have to have that attitude if I want to win because you have to
that's
attack.
why you have to be that's why
I have to be willing to play. If I'm in a spunky mood, I'll be like, okay, let's do it. Bring it on. But if I'm like in my usual 99.9% of myself, I'm like, well, okay, if you insist.
So that is Marvel Dice Throne.
Yep.
We'll play this over regular Dice Throne because we do like the Marvel characters.
Yes, we do.
All right, so check out our How to Play and Playthrough, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you so much for watching, you guys.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.